Hello everyone, it's your boy Justice Ndokuru Chivas, the writer, and I am here to inform you about our next coming teaching. I'll be teaching on 3-act structure. I know I'm dealing with newbies in a good way, people who are still new in script writing. If you're not new in script writing, I'm just gonna only sharpen what you already know, because iron sharpen irons. You'll be hearing it from my own point of view, the 3-act structure. Each and every, or almost each and every perfect movie that you see on TV, on Netflix, on Showmax, they do follow this pattern. Especially Hollywood, it's a Hollywood required standard. They like using 3-act structure, whereby act 1 is the setting where you are introducing your protagonist, the environment, the life, the life in which he's comfortable living before an inciting incident, something that comes and disturbs that status quo or that life that he was living comfortably, into a new adventure, which takes us to act 2, which is the confrontation of whatever problem that has started in the ending of act 1 in a plot twist or an inciting incident. So building from the confrontation comes obstacles and obstacles and obstacles until he reaches to the point of adaptation, where he adapts into this new environment in which that incident has forced him to confront. And then it goes now to plot number 2, which takes us to act 2. Act 3, whereby now he's resolving the conflict that has started in Act 2, or in the end of Act 1 going to Act 2. And then that's where now he's resolving, and now you are getting whether he won the battle or he lost the battle. What lesson did he learn? I know that if you are new, this will be confusing. So if I have to put it in a summary, I'll just put it in this way. Act 1, when you start a movie, some movies can start at the end, whereby our protagonist is busy fighting his villain, or is in an accident, or going to confront the problem, just to hook you into the movie, so that you can get to know that this is an action-packed movie, so that you can have every reason to sit and watch it. And then they will take you to Act 1. Act 1 is when our protagonist is just sitting at home with his wife and daughter, swimming, and he's just happy that he has a family, until an intruder came and adopt, or maybe steal, or kidnap his wife and daughter. And that is a plot twist, which twists each and every good thing that started in the start. And now it takes us to Act 2, where now he has to confront the villain, which is called the confrontation. Act 2, or the middle of the story, whereby now he's going to go through all the obstacles and everything he can to rescue his family. And then in Act 3, that's when now he has fought the villain, and now he's recovering his family, or maybe he found them dead, and then he's admitting that he's gonna start a new life without his family anymore, or he got his family and he learned a lesson that he must be more careful going forward. That is the closing of our story. Act 3, it is not the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie, it's fade out, where you get back to black screen, and then you start seeing the titles going up with the executive producer, writer and director, and etc. That is an ending of our movie. It doesn't end in Act 3. Act 3 is the ending of our story, where the protagonist solved the problem, right? Or where we find out that did he win what he was starting or not. That is a 3-act structure. So I said many stories that you see, especially stories that are Hollywood standard, that some of them you might just see them also in Showmax and Netflix, or any other platform that any good story does follow the 3-act structure. Whether it's Need for Speed, whether it's John Wick. If you can see John Wick, in the beginning, John Wick was grieving or mourning for his wife who passed away, or was about to pass away, because now she's breathing with machines and everything. And then the wife left him with a dog to remember his wife. That is just the setting. He's happy. He's this comfortable guy who is grieving the loss of his wife. And then the plot twist started when he met Usef, who is the one who's gonna come and steal his car and then kill the last thing that he have that connect him with his wife, which is the dog. That now it takes us to Act 2, where now he's confronting Usep, where he has to kill Usep, but then Usep is a son of a kingpin whom John Wick once worked for, and this man has a lot of bodyguard. It's not easy to get to him, and he's gonna put all this protection to his son, and then John Wick has to go and fight all the bodyguards and all the protection that rich man has in order for him to get to the son. And in our act 3, that's when now he has killed the Usef, the son of the kingpin, and now the kingpin is coming for him because he cannot just let it slide, and then it's going to to resolving the issue whereby now he kills also the father of Usep in John Wick 1, and then it has round up our story. He's going back now to his life, but this time no longer does he have the dog, and then he adopt another dog as well, and another problem happened that he needs to confront. That takes us to part 2. So that is the 3-act structure. Each and every building has a structure. A car also has a structure. A vehicle, it's a complete thing, but before it becomes what it is, there are seats, right? There are electricians who comes and wire the radios and etc, and then there are people who are responsible for the windows, and there is somebody who had to sketch, who have to draw it down. That is your script writer. You sketch that car, and then a plumber and whosoever that is needed to bring the car, those pieces that they bring together to make one thing called a vehicle, that's a structure. So even a story is built out of a structure. It has to have a starting, it has to have a middle, and it has to have an ending. Otherwise, it might be confusing if you don't know where the story is starting and where the story is going. That's why it's not quite easy for you to adapt to a story that you found in the middle playing. You might ask yourself, how did this person get here? Why does this one hate this one? When are they gonna deal with this person? Why is this person surviving? And etc. Because you do not have the background of the story. That's why you say, okay, I think it's an interesting story. I just wanna watch what happened in the beginning because I found it here when this one was fighting this one. It's because you miss Act 1, which is the setting whereby in Act 1 people are introducing their protagonist. They are setting up the story, they are making a structure, and then it moves from Act 2, whereby now that problem that came and disturbed that normal life they were living prior, it has to be solved. And then it's Act 2, and after that problem is solved, it's going to Act 3. Act 3, that's where the problem is getting solved. So that's the 3-act structure. Do not worry if you don't get what I'm saying. I'm just giving you what I'm about to explain. I'm going to explain the 3-act structure. I'm not going to dive deep into what do you expect in Act 1 and Act 2 and Act 3. I'm just going to speak about the introduction. When I teach, if it's for an example mathematics, I just don't want to tell you that 1 + 1 = 2. I want to tell you what is mathematics, right? And what is the difference between 1 and 1 and 1 + 1, because 1 and 1 doesn't give you 2. 1 and 1, if you write it down, it will give you 11, right? So that might confuse you. So I need to explain, why do we have 1 and 1 this time giving us 2, and I have to speak where does the plus sign come from and etc, so that you can understand this. I was a slow learner in school, and I thank God that I was a slow learner, because now I teach in a slow way, which makes people even understand more, because you need, in order for me to understand the subject or whatever that you are saying, you need to build it from block to block. You need to before you lay the foundation, I need to know the ground. How is this foundation standing on this ground? Because some foundation, they just cannot stand in other grounds. What's the difference between this ground and the other ground? Why did you choose this ground? And then from there you take me to the foundation, and then you can show me the bricklayers and everything, and then you can go into the roof. That's what I want, and that's how I teach. So I'm gonna teach you, where does this story structure come from? Aristotle, and even way back, but I'm not going to dive deep into the history. I'm just going to tell you what is a 3-act structure and why is it important in script writing or in any story, whether it's a novel, whether it's a film script and etc. Why is it important that you follow a 3-act structure? And then in part 2, I'll be explaining you what is Act 1, which is the setting or the beginning, and then what is Act 2, which is the middle or the confrontation, and what is Act 3, which is the ending or the climax, right? Yeah, I think that's all for now. Like I said, this is Justice Ndakuru Chibas, your film script teacher and writer. God bless you. My time is up. Stay tuned.